Skiers on Baseball, Schmitty and Christian coming at you 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. Pitchers and catchers reported yesterday, and we thought we'd report tonight. Christian, I see a different background, so you must still be up at your mom's.
Yeah. Well, and it's daylight too, so you can see all the
Oh, that's
weatherized
right.
yard furniture and crap that I've been cleaning up out there. So pay it no mind. Um, yeah, and it's cold as shit. 34 this morning when I woke up. Yeah. My
What
knees
do
are
you
stinging.
what do you think about what's been going on lately? We got these conspiracy theorists are amok talking about how the Dodgers had Farhan uh, sign as a Giant so he could ruin the team, and now he's signed back with the Dodgers where he originally came from. I
Yep.
think it's funny.
The Death Star has cleared the planet. But seriously, all that talk is like, I just think Farhan's incompetent. I don't think it's corporate espionage in baseball. Come on, it just doesn't make any sense. So I don't think Farhan's plan was to sink the Giants on purpose, but he did it anyway by his own stupidity, I guess.
I
Let's
heard
call it
Ipe
that.
is going to take the hit for Farhan. He's going to say it was his fault the Giants got shitty.
Dude,
I mean,
50,
it's pretty crazy the
57.
way that he left the team. Like that fans actually are wanting to get rid of a future Hall of Fame catcher that was beloved here before the season even starts.
Yeah, I that's a head scratcher to me. And I was trying to think, like, what did Farhan do that was a positive for the team? Okay, he made some good draft choices, I think. How much of that had to do with him? Who knows? Could be player development, scout people. But look, he picked up Patrick Bailey, and a couple of these other guys that are pretty sound. I mean, they're just getting started with their major league careers. But other than that, I'm hard pressed to find anything that Farhan did that was truly good. I think there's more flaws than gems there, right?
I say
So
getting rid of Melanson was probably his moment. What do they
there's
call that?
that.
Yeah, that was his thing to report back about. I think that was the highlight for us, for me. I mean, he did sign Jung Hoo Lee, and I think Jung Hoo Lee is underappreciated at this time.
Sure.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see these bandwagoners jump on board as soon as they get to see this guy play. Because I saw him play. Like, I went to games, like, maybe nobody was paying attention, but this dude is a baseball player. And I was listening to Bob Melvin and Buster Posey both had interviews today, and they both, without even being asked, were like, missing Jung Hoo Lee last year was major for us. This guy is a quality player that changes the dynamic of our team. So
Right.
I'm
Right.
excited. I mean, he's my personal collectible when it comes to baseball cards. I've been collecting every fucking version I can find of the guy, and I think he's going to be great. And the other thing that goes with that is they did not invite any outfielders to spring
Right.
training, so they're going with
Right.
the kids, and that is exciting.
Right. That's right. Well, look, McRae is what, 24. Matos just turned 23. Okay, those guys are kind of like the backup plan at this point. But I mean, the youth and the skills, hey, that's great. Yaz, old dependable on defense. Who knows if he can hit, right? And Lee and Ramos, dude. There it is. There it is. What was it a couple weeks back? Let the nephew play.
Who's
I
the
don't remember.
nephew?
I don't remember if that was on our stream or on Giant Sports Talk Live, but somebody brought up my nephew's better than that, and they were like, "Let the nephew play." But yeah, I
Giant
mean,
Hot Takes podcast. They've been having some good takes on the. I've been on social media. I've been following them.
sweet, sweet. Yeah, so I mean, the call up, the non-roster invitees, none for the outfield. I mean, I like that. That says they're confident in those five guys that are there right now. right? And
That's my box baseball match.
yeah, it's going to be a good one. And I think, I was looking when I looked up that home run stat earlier today, and I was looking at, what guys hit. It's like some of these guys, in a very few games hit pretty decent number of home runs. I mean, we're not talking 20, but there were a lot of guys that hit 10 and 12, and they didn't play that many games. So, obviously we know the home run ball doesn't fly as much at San Francisco, but the bottom line is that, there is a little bit of power in those bats, and I'm more excited about like the style of hitting that Lee brings to the table, the spray hitting, right, and the speed. So yeah,
Absolutely.
It's looking good. So we should discuss this number 35 thing a little bit, because I was a little bit bent when you told me that. I don't know, maybe it's just I just need to roll with the punches, but yeah, I don't want to see Crawford's name on Verlander's back, and that's not a slight to Verlander. It's just it's tough. 13 years of that number on Crawford's back. I mean, it's a hard one to burn up.
Well, as Eric Romo calls him, he's the mentor. So the mentor gets to do whatever he wants. No, I think he came in and look, I agree. I think it is going to be a little sour taste for a lot of the fan base. But apparently he came in with full respect and said, look, I've been 35 my whole career. As you know, I've had a long career, and it's a pretty, notable one. And I want to wear 35. I want to wear my number in the Giants organization. But I don't want to be hated, and I need to talk to this guy, like this guy. I don't want to hear Buster talk to him. He said it was okay. So Verlander apparently gave him a call or talked to him face to face. I'm not sure what, but they talked about it. Apparently Crawford said it was fine, and he wanted it enough to say, well, if Crawford said it's fine, I'm going to wear it. Personally, I'd probably, if it's 1 year, maybe I'd go back to 59 or whatever his first year was, since it was only 1 year with that number. Because Verlander, I think, was 59 when he first came up. Then he went back to the minors, and then his first year, he was 35. And from then on, I don't know. To me, obviously, he might not know a lot of our history, too. He might not know how important Crawford is to the fan base and his cute little Dodger suck photo and all that stuff.
Well, he's got a little taste of our history from 2012.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to hear about that.
Yeah, and like Eddie says, I mean, I don't know that it bothers me that much. I was just kind of hoping that a guy of Crawford's caliber would maybe get his number retired at some point. So what do? You put his number on somebody else's back for a year, and then you retire it 10 years down the road. I mean, it's weird. Anyways, no big deal. It's cool to see Verlander in the uniform, right?
Yeah, I mean, things could be worse, right?
Yeah, totally. They could be worse,
I mean, he could show up and do this. Yes, that's right. Kike is back with the Dodgers, so a lot of Dodger dogs will be pounding each other all year.
That's
Good
right.
for you guys.
Yeah, the Dodger dongs. It's he belongs there, man. He fits right in. It's that's exactly the kind of behavior I expect from these clowns, right? So what do we got here?
Welcome aboard. I don't place all blame on Farhan Zaidi. It's the pinheads in ultimate charge that allowed an employee to be below expectations 4 years out of 5 prior to the 2024 season. Anywhere else, that person gets fired.
Yeah.
JB, would you agree that Buster Posey gets at least 1 year before we can start harping on him? He's taken over a shit pile and he's got to make it into manure before he can grow the lawn, right? Let's give the due process, I think, is appropriate, especially when this is a guy that we are retired his number, and he's probably a Hall of Famer if everything works out for him. So I just don't like the Buster hate before pitchers and catchers report. And I am not, as they say, a homer. I think I'm in between a homer and a hater. I'm just a fan. And yeah, I got some sway towards my team, which I thought that's what fans do. But I am critical too. I'll talk shit all day about their marketing team.
Well, and there's been a lot of naysaying on Buster, and I think that he inherited a shit pile. Okay, we know that. Like he came in with a decimated farm system, with a roster of a lot of platoon guys that couldn't play every day. With kind of, it's going to take time. And I've been tossing this around in my head, and I don't know how much weight to put in it, but I'm wondering too, with the potential work stoppage next year, in the next season, potentially a lockout. Do they want to make these big, huge moves? What does that mean? Is it sort of that wait and see attitude? I don't know. I don't put much stock in that, but that could be part of what's going on. But yeah, you got to give Buster some rope, right? And I think what the JV is making this point about, like, there's people dropping the ball, whether it's ownership or other people in the organization. And we need to get back to a place in time where meritocracy mattered in all walks of life, where it's like, you got the job and you get to stay because you check the boxes, not because you're good at it. Right. And I think that, they really need to look at it top to bottom in San Francisco and say, okay, like who's pulling their weight and who's not. And the people that aren't pulling their weight should be hitting the bricks. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly, people can say the team hasn't changed that much. The team is very similar, this and that, and you can agree or disagree with that. I've already said plenty of times, I think Jung-Hoo Lee coming back, being healthy all year, is going to be a huge addition to the squad, as well as having all-star caliber shortstop that plays 161 games. These are two huge additions for me, and they're right up the middle where it counts.
Yep.
But I also think that just the Buster Posey, the changing of guards, so to speak, in some of these areas, it'll be interesting to see how Bob Melvin's allowed to coach and what his philosophies are. Do they change a little because there's not somebody zapping him, or does it stay the same? There's going to be a lot of games within the games for me to kind of like analyze in the beginning to see, I've already heard these guys definitely want to run more, which is great news. And then everyone's going to be accountable, right? Like if you make 4 errors in one game, you might sit down for a little while. You might, there's going to be some actions where Buster's like, that's not working, And so the accountability for me is going to be, dude, I love Shohei Ohtani John. I mean, come on. That's got to be the best nickname out. But yeah, dude, here's the deal. I'm excited for frickin' baseball. And if nobody out there is as excited for baseball, then maybe they're not baseball fans, But I think the griping shouldn't start until at least August when the dog days hit. Let's be optimistic, and instead of being hypothetical failures, let's gravitate to hypothetical success. It's the same odds right now.
Yep. Yeah, and just to touch on the whole change thing a little bit briefly, is that Farhan being gone is going to change the way Bob Melvin manages. Okay. Yeah, I want to get to this.
I want to get to this too. That's what we're going to do.
It's going to change the way Melvin manages. The roster makeup is going to be different. I think that guys are going to be given a much longer leash to prove whether they're worthy of being in there every day. The platooning thing is definitely going to go away for the most part, I think. And I think the culture is going to be different. And I can definitely see how with this squad of guys, there's going to be some good chemistry. It just feels that way with these guys. There's young guys who are excited. There's veteran guys who are real calm. And I think like that balance is going to be there. I think it's going to be good. I think this team's going to be good. And you know what? Last year, good players are capable of playing bad baseball. If they're being poorly managed, if they're being poorly treated by a general manager or president of baseball operations, they're getting shipped out on the taxi squad all the time. I mean, that can affect the quality of your play on the field. you know. And look,
100%.
the major league level was a high pressure situation. Okay, so people think like, oh yeah, these guys they swagger around, whatever. It is not an easy game, you know. So I think that the culture is going to change. I think the chemistry is going to be good. I think that, you know, it's going to be an exciting thing. And I'm looking, you know, if they start out the first month and they go, you know, a couple of games over 500 the first month, I think it's going to be a good year for the Giants. I could see them potentially beating Arizona and San Diego and Colorado.
I did read an article today in The Athletic by Jim Bowden, who gave a bunch of awards for all these different things. And I thought it was interesting that he basically said, Schmitty, I'm listening to you and you are right. The Padres are the least improved in all of baseball. I've been saying this all off season. The Padres were this close to going to the World Series. It's like the Niners. They were this close to winning the Super Bowl. What'd they do this year? They didn't even make the playoffs. Watch. Just watch. The Padres will end up in fourth place. Yeah. I don't know if the Giants can get second, but the Giants are going to get third, second, or first because Rockies are already reserved fifth for, I don't know, maybe eternity. And then the Padres are falling, guys, and they're going to get rid of more players. Watch. Yep. Arias is gone. Cease is gone. These guys, it could be a rebuild down there.
Yeah, it's a big salary dump, and it's not done yet. They were, you know, I think Anaheim was vying for the least improved, and then they decided that Rendon is done pretty much, and now he's for sure done physically. So, like, Padres are least improved after that move in Anaheim because Rendon was just like a boat anchor around Anaheim's neck. Right.
Eddie, do you believe it to be true? Do you think that Corbin Carroll had a bad year last year, or do you think that people adjusted to him and this is who we get? Because he's 1 for 1, right? His rookie year, he was awesome. Last year, he wasn't awesome. And so what's going to happen his third year? That will dictate whether Arizona is on fire or not, I believe. Christian Walker gone, Naylor in there. That'll be a change.
That's a downgrade. That's a definite downgrade, you know?
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. Their pitching staff is I believe that the Arizona pitching staff within 2 years will all be kaput. This could be the pinnacle this year, but it's going to start going real quick.
Yeah, Gallen was declining.
The Giants have 22-year-old guys that are like about to come up. I mean, the talk about Eldridge at 20 years old, he just turned 20.
Yep.
I mean, to me, give that guy a whole year in AAA. There's no reason to rush him.
Nope.
He comes up at 21. He can actually drink a beer with the boys and join the squad. And he's got like, you know, more reps down there, and the pressure of like people putting him into the third or fourth slot and hoping he's going to hit 40 home runs. It's like, simmer down. Let's get all these. This year is the year for me to get all the equations figured out. Who's our right fielder? Who's going to be at first base? Is Fitzgerald our everyday second baseman? Who's our backup catcher? Which pitchers are going to stay in the rotation? Is Hicks going to stick around? Is Ray going to be healthy? How many games is Verlander going to throw? Cross your fingers that Webb doesn't get hurt. If he does, the ship sinks. Obviously, the guy's throwing over 200 innings for us each year. But the fifth position, I got to tell you, this Birdsong versus Harrison thing, I mean, that is a pay-per-view, man. That's awesome stuff, because Harrison was the number one left-handed prospect 2 years ago, number one in baseball. He had some injuries last year. He didn't do as well as we all hoped. He's coming back. This guy has got fire under his you-know-what, and so he wants to be the number 5 guy or the number 4 guy. Who knows? But Birdsong's young, and he's wanting it too. But then they got Roop and some other guys. But it's going to be the equations, I think, this year where we start being like, oh, McRae is the right fielder. we traded Matos or vice versa. Like, who knows what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting regardless. As Marty Lurie says, the stories, that's what we come for.
Yeah. Well, I don't see him moving Matos at all ever. I think that his potential is too high, and he's so young that he's going to be right around in it. As far as the Birdsong Harrison thing goes, if those guys are on an equal footing come opening day, I have a feeling they're going to hand it to Harrison just for the seniority and the experience. But Birdsong will be right there waiting in the wings, and if any of the starters go down, he's going to be in there for sure, right? I still think Hicks as a starter is a big question mark to me. I didn't see anything last year that told me that he can be a full season starter and give you quality starts all year. He tended to break down a little bit at the end. He throws really hard, and it's like there has to be an innings count on that guy, or his arm is just going to come unglued. So I don't know about all that. Ray, we don't know. Hopefully he comes back strong, second year after Tommy John. And Webb's a workhorse. I don't worry about him, but I don't want to see him throwing 230 innings. I just don't. I think it's too much. So, and I know how it is. Like guys like Kershaw is a good example where that guy wants to pitch as many innings as possible, and they let him instead of saying, "Nah, Clayton, sit down." And look at him now. You saw the Dodgers just gave him another 1-year deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how's that going to work out? Toe, shoulder, neck, back. What's next?
But they also don't even have any room in their rotation. Where they have a 9-guy rotation.
Look at the list of players they signed in the offseason. How many guys? Okay, your roster has to get cut way down. So.
Hicks is going to break 100 innings this year, and it's going to be what did I say the other day? 135 is what I thought we're hoping for out of Hicks.
I mean, what do you think the rotation order is right now? I mean, it's Webb,
Ray, then Verlander, Hicks, Harrison, or Birdsong, and I think Harrison's going to be in there. At least to start the year for sure. Unless something dramatic happens, that's the rotation I see. I mean, Webb is for sure the one, and Ray is probably the two. A lot because he's a lefty, so you can go righty lefty, and then he's the only. Is he the only lefty in there? If Harrison doesn't make it, there's only one lefty. And you know how much people care about these lefty righties now. I can't believe I was listening to this crap the other day, and I'm like, how hypocritical is it that for years we're talking about Farhan being a piece of POS because he does the lefty versus righty, and he pinch hits lefties for righty and righties for lefty and all this crap. And then the minute we get rid of Taylor Rogers, it's like, oh, we only have one left-handed pitcher now. It's like, it's the same shit. It's the best person available. Who cares about the lefty-righty? They're going to get another left-handed pitcher, and it's probably going to be someone better than Rogers and for way less money. So,
yeah,
I'm fine with it.
It does concern me a little bit that they have such a shortage of left-handers because they basically got one left-hand starter and one left-hand reliever, and that's it. Right. So in season situations, there's going to be time to call for lefties. You're going to have to. And so I don't. They need to pick up another left-hander for the bullpen.
Oh, they will though, for sure.
Those guys can be had. Yeah, they can be had. And I mean, I was reading Maria Guardado's piece about what the opening day roster potentially could look like, and she's talking about the jelly's going to be part of the bullpen, and I'm like, why? Nobody wants Sean Jelly around, really?
Well, according to some people, they love Sean Jelly because I was stinking up the room with I'm not a Jelly fan, and then people were like, Don't get rid. I mean, I can't. Whatever I've heard Glenn say this, and I think it's the same for me. Whatever I say, everybody says the opposite. Like, you don't like jelly. Like, it's like the guy's a novelty 7-footer. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah. Eddie's on it. Yeah, this is a shit thing. Like, I think Bruce Bochy was the master of pushing buttons and matchups in the late innings and games. And this 3-batter minimum thing just completely screwed that style of managing. You know, didn't stop him from going on to win a World Series in Texas the first year back, but I don't like it because it forces a guy to throw more pitches than he might be comfortable with a lot of times, and it blows. However, the inverse of that was Kapler leaving a guy in to face 6 or 7 batters when he didn't have it in the first 2. Right? You remember how many times that happened, Schmitty? These relievers coming in, and it's like 3-batter minimum. It's like, get this guy out of here. Nah, I think I'll let him give up a couple more runs. Ugh. But yeah, I don't
see it. I see that one both ways. I think that it's ridiculous to have a specialist that just only can pitch to like I'm a lefty and I come in against their hardest lefty and then pull me out. It's like, really? Like, that seems worse than having like a separate kicker in football just for kicking off. It's just like, come on, you're wasting a roster. People talk about wasting rosters. That seems like a wasted roster to me. I kind of like the 3-batter rule too, because it speeds up the game in a way that's not so apparent. Like, you don't look at it as like, oh my God, it's too fast. It's just like not too slow. There's some areas like the dude that gets out of the box every time there's a pitch and starts adjusting his cup and doing this whole routine. It's like, dude, we don't care. Like, just get in there. All that stuff being negated was a huge positive for me.
Yeah. I mean, you know, no 4 or 5 pitching changes in one inning definitely speeds the game up a little bit. I mean, I do remember like there were guys like Javier Lopez who like he could only face a left-hand batter. I mean, he was lights out against a lefty, but you put him in there against a righty, which he almost never faced. He couldn't get him out to save his life. So yeah, I mean, the rules are going to be what they're going to be. They need to stop changing things, though. I think it's fine the way it is. Just stop messing with it. So, yeah, I'm just excited.
Don't ask me to field. I like that. Here's a trivia that I just kind of realized when I went up to Sacramento for the Giants Fan Fest. Do you know who the last pitcher is to hit a home run before the DH rule?
It's not Bartolo Colon.
Nope. I'll give you a hint.
Is it Logan Webb?
I was going to say, I'll give you a hint. I figured it out when I was in Sacramento. Yep. Logan Webb was the last pitcher to hit a home run for the National League before they went to the designated hitter in both leagues. And the reason I know this so well is because they made a special baseball card with Logan holding his bat like he's in the batter's box. And that's a pretty cool card to have. It's kind of a rare one.
That's killer.
But that's kind of neat. I think that's pretty cool. I kind of miss the pitchers hitting, but then again, I don't miss them hitting. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was a time, I mean, obviously they don't allow much of it anymore, but there was a time when, pitchers would headhunt, but then they had to get up in the box and face the opposing pitcher. And it's like, the thing. You're throwing at my guy, watch out, and that element of baseball now, they're so quick to warn the dugouts and do all that, they're trying to, and I get it. They're trying to keep guys from getting hurt, but it's like that old hard nose, like throwing at guys thing. It rarely happens. It's only now if you show somebody up, you're going to catch one, right? I mean, it's pretty, and that's kind of just the unwritten rule. I like the old unwritten rules a little better. So.
Yeah, in life as well, right? Like there's some things that just, you got to kind of pay if you want to play. Sometimes it's really important to be able to brush people back. Otherwise, they're going to sit in there super comfortable and away we go. So, I'm trying to finalize my lineup for this year. I'm missing one position, and then I'll have it dialed in. So we got center, right, left, shortstop, third, second. Oh, first base. That's it. Wow. Okay.
I can pretty much do it without writing it down the way I see it right now.
Yeah, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Are we talking opening day starting pitcher included? Is that what we're doing? Because that one's a no-brainer.
Sure.
So here's what I got. Okay, I got Webb starting opening day. I got Patrick Bailey catching. At first base, I got Lamont Wade over.
Wait. I want the order. I want the batting order.
Oh, the batting order. Okay, I thought we were talking about the lineup.
We are. We're talking about the whole thing. Batting first, center fielder, Jung-Hoo Lee.
I agree with that. After that, I want to see a contact guy. I either want to see Adames in the 2 spot, or I want to see even Wade in the 2 spot. Okay. Number 3, let's go with Ramos. Okay. And let's take our DH in cleanup. So we say Encarnacion. It's a good chance for that, right? Number 5.
You got Jung-Hoo Lee leading off.
Yep.
And then who's second?
I want Wade. Yep. I want Wade second.
And then third is
Adames.
4th is Encarnacion.
Yep.
Okay.
5th would be Fitz.
Wow. Okay.
6th would be if he's in the lineup, Matos.
Okay.
Chapman 7. Yaz 8th. And where does that leave us? Fitz?
Wait.
No.
Wait, what happened to Ramos? Was he, or you're not having him in the lineup?
Oh, no. Sorry.
You got you got Matos,
Ramos 5th.
and Yaz.
I missed one. Yeah, Ramos 5th. So bump everybody else down 1 spot, and Yaz is in the 9 hole.
But you can't have that many outfielders. You got Jung-Hoo Lee, Ramos, Matos, and Yaz.
Right. So pull Matos out.
Okay, Matos out. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then what? Bailey 9.
Bailey put Bailey 8th, Yaz 9th. Right.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason I want Bailey that low is because I don't know what they're going to do with the switch hitting. If he's going to stay switch hitting, I want him lower in the lineup. I mean, if he's going to only hit left-handed, they can move him up.
Okay.
How bad is my order?
No, it's pretty good. So I'm going to do the opposite of you. I'm going to be facing a left-handed pitcher, and I'm going to have Wilmer Flores in my lineup.
All right.
So I'm going to start off Jung-Hoo Lee, center field, batting first. Adames at shortstop, batting second. Matos in right field, batting third. Ramos batting fourth and playing left field. Encarnacion, DH, batting fifth. Chapman, sixth, batting or at third base. Wilmer at first base, batting seventh. Patrick Bailey, eighth, and batting ninth, our everyday second baseman, Fitzgerald.
Okay.
And the way that I think this is because from what I'm hearing, Adames is penciled in the 2 hole. He loves batting second. Unless somehow that changes, because I think personally I'd rather have him bat third.
Yeah.
But he wants to be up early and set the table and all that thing. And so I put Fitz at ninth. So when it turns over, you got a speed guy that hopefully gets on, and then Jung-Hoo Lee's a contact here and can drive him in. We need really a lot of that to happen this year. And my goal is for Matos to beat out Yaz as our primary right fielder. and Yaz will be a fourth outfielder that comes in late innings and gives people days off.
I'd love that. I'd love that. So, yeah, moot point, Eddie.
Who performs better, Wade, Flores combined, or Polar Bear?
Dude, I'm going to tell you,
Wade and Flores.
Wade and Flores will not strike out as much. They may not hit as many home runs, but I bet that their on-base percentage, at least Wade's on-base percentage, will beat Alonso's. Guaranteed.
The only thing that Polar Bear wins is home runs. The Wade Flores combo wins every other offensive stat, and for sure the defensive stat.
Yeah, that's the thing that people overlook with Lamont Wade is, dude, his defense at first base, he went from being okay to being really pretty damn good at first base. I mean, he sells out for a lot of balls over there. So
yeah, he's an athlete.
We know Wilmer's got a good stretch, but he's not going to get to a lot of balls that Wade's going to get to. That's just the reality of it, you know. Wade's a little short. Yeah, Wade's a little more compact. He's a little bit quicker to the ball. So, you know, I mean, both those guys are going to be in there. We know that, right? And it's fine. I do think maybe on the days that Flores is in the lineup, you juggle the batting order a little bit, though, right?
And I also don't think it's fair to compare Polar Bear hitting home runs in Queens, batting behind Soto, compared to two guys platooning in Oracle, and we don't know who they're going to bat around. So I think the on-base percentage is just as important, though. Look, Polar Bear's a clutch, big-name guy. You know, he hit the opposite home run in the playoffs at the right time. I don't know why the Mets took so long to bring him back when he was basically begging to come back. But I'm kind of excited, you know, to be honest. I wasn't giving this Wade and Flores any love. And that was one of the things that I was kind of negative on. But again, of course, that's what they say, right? Going into spring training, everyone's their best health, all this stuff. But if Wilmer's healthy, the guy was super clutch 2 or 3 years ago, you know, like, and Wade is just like a great eye. Like he doesn't, you know, he doesn't take a lot of pitches that are strikes.
He makes pitchers work. He really makes them work. He gets into these 8, 9, 10 pitch at bats almost every time he's up, you know, and that's assuming he doesn't get a hit in the first 2, 3 pitches.
It just really sucks that he doesn't have good legs. Like,
I know.
It's like getting on base. It doesn't really do much if you can only advance one by one, right? It's like we need the quick guy.
Yeah. But that's the thing. If you have a speedy guy getting on pretty regularly in front of him, that is good. He's going to move guys over. You get him into scoring position, and then the next guy up can come and knock him in, right? And move Wade up a base. Like I don't see a real downturn in all of that, right? So
I think so. Here's the thing, like we were talking about earlier, this year, a lot of equations, right? And 3 of the equations are no more Yaz, no more Wilmer, no more Wade. And what I mean by that is in 2026, those guys will all be free agents and won't re-sign. Yep. So in 2026, we're going to have Bryce Eldridge, if everything goes according to plan, playing first base, which could be a huge addition. And then the outfield, we're going to either Matos or McRae or both of them are going to prove their worth and be solid in right field, or the Giants could go after Tucker or a different outfielder. But those are the things that I see happening after this year. And when that gets resolved, I think we have a really solid team, especially if they can replace Verlander with a high profile pitcher, because he'll be gone after 1 year too. And I think they'll know, I don't think there's a third year of playing around with Hicks. This year we find out if he can go the whole length and he's a great starter and he stays in the rotation, great. But if he does what he did last year he's not a starter next year and we need to replace him, whether it be internal or bring in an outside guy. Listening to Posey in his interview, it really sounds like he wants to keep as much internal stuff going, keep the young guys, let them have a chance and all that stuff. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, and what that says to me is that clearly guys didn't hit their potential last year, but the potential's there. Okay. Like I just, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like,
Anthony, thank you.
I do think that that Farhan meddling and forcing his sort of philosophies and strategies onto Melvin, it's like terrible. It's like you bring in a new manager and the guy thinks he's going to be able to manage, and it's like he's just getting henpecked. It's like I imagine things would have been a lot different last year if they had just let Melvin do what Melvin does. I mean, he had a rough time in San Diego, but then there was a lot of, what I like to call clubhouse cancer going on there when he was there, right? Too many egos, too much craziness. Yeah.
Well, you just never know exactly. You hear things, you assume things, but nobody knows exactly what was going on. I mean, internally they do, but we don't know if Bob Melvin was being told everything, if he was being told a few things. We don't know that, but we can assume that if this year looks a lot different, then we can assume that like things have changed in that respect. So those are some of the early things I'm looking forward to. And I can't overstate how important Jung-Hoo Lee is. I think he's the key to this year. I think if Jung-Hoo Lee plays 150 plus games this year, we are a dramatic better team than last year, dramatically. And I don't care about Verlander. Like if he gets hurt and he's out, we just bring another guy up. We got enough dudes down in SAC that I'm not too worried about the starting pitching. I think it's going to work itself out. I think spring training is going to show a lot. From what I heard from Bailey today, Verlander was throwing to Bailey today at spring training first time. And he's like, dude, this guy's got pinpoint control already. Like he was pretty impressed on day one. So he's got a lot to prove. And I think he's going to try to do that. So I'm excited. Maybe Brandon Crawford's going to be on the mound again this year.
Well, look, if Verlander gives us 15 starts or more, that's good, right? I'm good with that. As long as he doesn't turn out to be Randy Johnson, where it's like, how many games did Randy Johnson start for the Giants before he just went kaput? I mean, he was done pretty quick, right? So that's what we don't want. But I don't think we're going to get that out of Verlander. I think Verlander, like you've pointed out in the past, he wants to get to 300 wins. I mean, he's already going to the Hall of Fame. We know that. But 300 wins, that's a feather, right? That's something you get to tout that for the rest of your days. And people, 300 wins for a starting pitcher is not easy to get to anymore. It just isn't. Guys don't last as long. It's tough, right? So yeah, I'm good with it.
Should be interesting also to see like the infield, right? Like with Chapman and Adames on the left side. I mean, I'm going to show you guys a little highlight reel in a little bit later in the show, but I got excited today, man. I'm watching all these highlights of different players that we have, and it was really great.
I'm going to entertain this, Timmy. Dude, the day rip video. The day rip video is sick. We can talk about that for a minute. Where did they go to, Larry? Dude, like the home of some of the crappiest skate parks out there. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Need a Cooper skate story. Well, there was this one time we were skating a spine ramp in Palo Alto many years ago. There was a young kid named Little Dave, and he was skating on the ramp and went over the spine and boom, ran into a big Christian Cooper, and it was lights out.
I have yet to see this clip. Wait, was that Johnny? Was it Johnny Dagger?
it was little Dave, and Johnny Dagger was there, and then Johnny Dagger was like blaming you the whole time. He's like, "That was Christian's fault. He did it on purpose."
I don't think I would ever try to run into anybody on
No,
purpose.
you did it. They were just being punks. It was good. What did you think of the day rip video? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, it was epic, man. I
4
love that
bowls
shit.
in Tulare. Where's that? Is that like
Tulare.
where the hell
It's
is that? By
down
Visalia, right?
by Fresno, Visalia. Yeah, out in
And they
out in
couldn't call Jesse Paez to meet him. Come on, guys. What the hell's going on?
well, dude, you're at the mag. You're involved.
I'm
You
at
need
the
to be.
mag. I'm not in Tulare. I didn't even get a call on that one.
That's what I'm saying. Shit. Yeah. Joe Rocker Joe's man. Joe Freitas' spine. Dude, that ramp was fun. Super fun. Well, shit, man. I mean, we got things are happening, right? The team workouts are starting. What, Friday? Is that the deal?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, pitchers and catchers was yesterday. They were throwing today down there. Did you see that cute little slow-mo video they did of everyone arriving in their cars and getting out and walking and drinking a coffee? Like, slow-mo can do so much for your videographers out there. Yeah, and then I think Friday it I mean, most of those guys are already down there. They've all been in the batting cage and stuff. But a week from Saturday is the first game of spring training, the 22nd. It's 12:05 against Bruce Bochy and your Texas Rangers. So it's coming, guys. It's going to be here real soon.
Yeah, it's exciting. I heard that some of the Giants guys got down there way early to start working out. Like they're hungry to get going. So, these guys are going to be fit. They're going to be strong. They've been working out for a couple of weeks already. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys are really already bonding with Adamas too. Like everybody's talking about what a great dude this is, what a leader, he's just like excited every day, and that's pretty cool to have those type of vibes. I was going to say earlier, we kind of got tailed off into something, but I was going to mention, because I get upset about the fans. This is one of my pet peeves. I don't understand and I think it's social media. I get it. Everybody's got a voice and everyone's opinion matters. And like Cucamonga down in Arizona talking shit every day about whatever, and then finding out he cheats in fantasy baseball. It's nuts. But remember when people said that you have home field advantage? Do you understand why people have home field advantage? It's because of the fans and the aura and the energy. The players feed off of this. If you're giving negative energy, are you a fan? That's my question. I get being critical. I'm not saying that. There's a difference. You can critique things and be bummed on certain things, but if your entire aura is negative, I wonder what that does. I don't believe in rocks and full moons and all that stuff, but I do believe in fan energy, and I think that it matters. And I think when you're at the game, which a lot of these guys aren't, a lot of these guys are just sitting behind a computer complaining, and I don't know what their life, they must have had the worst life ever. All they do is complain every day, all day. Oh my God, this happened. Blah, blah, blah. And people just want to, do you really want to hear that all day after you had a shitty day at work? I don't know. But my point being is it's not that hard to just be like, dude, baseball's here. I'm hyped. And let's see what happens.
Right. Well, and at this point, some of these people have been going every single night with these streams, and it's like that dead horse had been flogged to death again. It's like the same. How many nights can you talk about Chapman? That deal sucks, and this sucks, and that sucks. It's like you're gonna run out of shit to talk about. And I know you're going in there sparring with some folks, like
I'm just trying to have fun. All I'm trying to do is have fun. And I think it becomes this devil's advocate thing where it's like, whatever is said, it's like no or yes, it's just the opposite, and it's just funny. I just think that it would be neat if everybody could just take a step back and analyze themselves and try to break character once in a while and just be like, man, I've been pretty negative. I should try to do a whole positive show today and just see.
Dude, San Francisco is not Philly. San Francisco is not St. Louis. San Francisco is not Boston. San Francisco is not New York. Okay. So like all these people that go on the Negatron vibe about the Giants, it's like, it's this passive aggressive, like, the garlic fries went up $3. Instead of like, hey, if a guy's sucking and he's not playing up to his potential, yeah, ride that guy. But don't just shit on the team and shit on Buster and shit on everything. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of things we could complain about the Giants that have nothing to do with the players on the field, the game that they're playing. We could talk about the techie condos and all the other bullshit that the Johnsons do, like whatever. But like the reality is, it's like, be a fan, show up at the yard, scream and yell, get the energy levels up. Let these guys know you appreciate what they do, man. I mean, how much stoke do you get from these guys year in and year out, right? Got 3 rings, boys. Like, come on, right?
Second most amount of world championships in the 2000s. The Giants have 3. The Red Sox have 4. Nobody else has, everyone is 2 or less.
Yep.
It's great to make the playoffs 12 years, but when you don't win the World Series ever out of those 12 years, I don't know that it matters. I don't think anybody cares that you were like, oh, we got to the first round and we got knocked out, but we made it. Like,
Yep.
I would say the rings are more important. And so until things change, we got a lot of rings.
Yep. And it never feels great if your team doesn't make the playoffs. It never feels great if your team gets drilled in the first round, or if they play a great series and they get knocked out by one bad call that potentially could have change the outcome of the game. But it's like, it's baseball, and if they give you a good over 500 season and a lot of exciting plays throughout that season, and some really dramatic stuff, like, you got to be stoked on it, and you got to have your guys that you're hyped on. I mean, I'm hyped on so many of these dudes,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm really pulling for Fitzgerald because he's fast and he's got power, and he was a shortstop, so second base is going to be a lot easier for him. I think there's a lot of things that are going to be going our way, and injuries we can't predict.
Nope.
And I think that's the key to the season, is our health for our key players.
Yeah,
just like everybody, right?
Yeah.
Morgan, are you a Bochy fan? You got to be, but are you a Rangers fan? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to catch up on the top 100. They were going into the 40 through 20, so I got to catch up on that tonight and see what the MLB Network picked. But they got Logan Webb at 50, so we'll see.
You got a couple minutes to watch a little thing for this guy who's in the top 100.
Bring it.
Let me see what we can do here. We got a lot of people seem to be hating on my next guy here. A lot of people seem to be hating, but I enjoy.
Here's Chapman. High and deep to left. Coming home. They got him. This was on the ground. Third. Chapman. Got him. Hammered it. Chapman. He got it.
That's right.
Sheesh.
Third baseman for the San Francisco Giants, Matt Chapman. Respect.
This one just does not stop.
Crap, man. That's too easy. Come on, that's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
That's like Tony Baloney, you know. Come on, Anthony. Let's dig a little bit. Let's dig a little bit. What about Platinum Glove? Platinum Glove.
We're gonna have to bring up a little some of the Fitz highlights from last year. I don't know if you noticed, but he's got a little swagger when he hits a home run.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I want that.
And Adames has swagger. McRae has swagger. Like, dude, the team is getting a little less crusty old, you know, like it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Let the kids play, man. I mean,
how many games does anybody plan on going to it? Do any of you guys attend games? Because I'll be there like 56 times minimum. I made a pact with myself.
Yeah.
But if anybody's going out to the yard, hit me up. I'd love to meet up in person, but it's coming, man. What are we talking about? April 3rd or 4th or something?
Yeah.
Check out Baseball Bros. I don't know what that is.
Is it the baseball bat bros? I've seen those clowns.
What is that?
The guys that they go and take all these baseball bats, they go to different stadiums and they hit like BP, basically trying to hit home runs, and they test out all these crazy bats that are illegal in the major leagues to see if they can hit home runs. They're just these big yoked dudes, you know.
Eddie, where do you live? You don't need to drive unless you live in Modesto, but if you're in the peninsula somewhere, take the train or take the boat or take BART. You know, there's all kinds of ways. I wouldn't park either. I wouldn't want to pay for parking. It's a lot of money, and if you park in the streets, you could get your car broken into. I understand that, but there's a lot of transportation that can get you there these days.
Yeah, I BARTed in for skate day from El Cerrito del Norte.
Yeah, BART drops you off what, 3 blocks away?
It's about 5-6 blocks. They're long blocks, you know. Get off at New Montgomery and just walk straight down. You know, it's a nice little, get some exercise before you go sit in a seat for 3 hours. It's good, man.
Today, you know how I usually get mail. Well, today I got a box of the new 2024 Topps Series 1 baseball cards.
You haven't broken the seal on that yet, have you?
I haven't broken the seal. Should I open a pack?
It's up to you. It's going to be a bummer if you don't get a Giants card in the first pack, but yeah. I think you need to.
Let's see what we can get.
You got something new. I got something really old right here.
My greatest day in baseball. Whoa, was that your dad?
I think it was my grandfather's actually. Look at this.
Just Minx. I'm opening a pack.
3 for $1 bookstores, 50,000 books, 20,000 records. What the heck?
That's amazing. Insane.
Yeah.
Craig, you got to see them hit at Oracle. Huh. I'll keep my eyes open for that. If you guys can help us, I was looking at the subscription thing, and I guess we need to get to 500 to have a certain whatever respectable thing. If anybody can help pass along, you know, subscribe, tell people, whatever, much appreciate that. So it's we're gonna open a pack here.
How many cards? How many cards in a pack?
40 cards.
All right.
Here we go. Oh, the smell. Luis Castillo. How should I do this? Should I just read them off and if show you any good ones? Yeah. Tyler Gentry, rookie card. That one might be a keeper.
Is that Mike Gentry's nephew or something? Let the nephew play?
I don't know, but we got Garrett Cole. That's Brandon Crawford's brother-in-law.
That's right.
Tyler Soderstrom of the Sac A's.
The Sac A's.
The Sacletics. I think they should call them the Sackletics. That'd be kind of good, right? Rafael Devers. Who's a Red Sox fan? Who's a Red Sox fan?
Oh,
Mark Vientos. Big addition to the Mets last year.
He's huge. Devers has done a lot better than his counterpart who went to San Diego. Xander Bogaerts was awful, right?
Yeah.
He was real bad.
Who are these guys? We got Manny Machado, and I think that's Jackson Merrill, no?
It could be Jackson Merrill.
Or is it? Yeah, number 3. Let's keep on digging through here. This is fun, guys. Travis d'Arnaud, Brooks Baldwin, Brenton Doyle, Francisco Lindor. I'm a fan of Lindor. I'm telling you right now, I like Lindor. We got DJ Hers, Isaac Paredes. Oh, here's a good action shot of Volpe. It's a pretty good shot of Volpe right there.
Not bad.
Not bad. We got Pete Crow Armstrong, highly touted youngster.
Jackson Merrill is number 3.
Spencer Steer, who a lot of people were trying to get the Giants to bring on board. Heard his name a lot in rumors. Brandon Marsh, Greg Jones, Jordan Beck. And here we go, kids. Jackson Merrill. This is a good card. That's gonna go up in value in time. I think he's a long time baseball player.
Yep.
Followed by a guy who might be done.
Rendon.
Man. Rendon.
No, they said today he's having, quote, long-term hip surgery.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Done? I mean, I have a metal hip, but like I'm not a Major League Baseball player.
Oh no, you guys! Oh my God! I got this. Fuck. Oh no! Shit! I got Kershaw as my hit. God damn it. God damn it. Ooh, Andrew McCutcheon, always a fan.
Yeah.
Oh shit. This might pay for my whole box, kids. I'll sell this right away to anybody that's gonna pay for my whole box. We got Cactus League, Shohei Ohtani. Tristan Casas, David Peterson.
Is that what they call bet the farm?
That's called
He's betting the farm.
Yeah. Dodgers Swagger, Gavin Sheets, Clay Holm, James Wood, Jonathan India. Guess what, kids? Not a single Giant.
Wow. Unreal.
And I got a whole box to, go through at my leisure.
I'll bet if I go buy one pack at the store tomorrow, I'm going to come up on a Giants card. Yeah, Farhan card.
Farhan card. That would be the, what is it called? Gordon and Kinter or whatever it's called.
And a complete aside to any of this, if you're in Sonoma County, I'm playing the World Series of Poker event at the Grayton Rancheria tomorrow. So you want to come and play cards against one of the best, I'll be there.
Really?
Yeah, they're having some month.
What's the buy-in?
Play a satellite for 110, and satellite takes you to event number 2, and that will take you to a main event. So, I just like to do. I like to play satellites for the big stuff, for WPT and all that. It's just easier. It's less of an investment. I don't worry about it. Like I'm not going to go to Vegas and drop $10,000 for the main event in the World Series. I'm going to play satellites, try to get there. You can cash in a ring event, one of those, and make 50, 60, 70 grand. Not too shabby.
I'm a craps guy.
Oh God, the house always wins, man.
It's the best odds in the house.
Well, if you can find a place where they still play blackjack with less than 4 hands and 4 decks and a shoe, it's pretty good odds, actually. Yeah, you got to go to like old strip Vegas, Fremont Street. I think you can still find like $3 blackjack down there, $5 blackjack. But yeah, craps is nasty.
I love craps. I could last forever in craps too. Like I can play all night.
What do you play? What's your crap
Dude,
strategy?
you start on the
Pass
pass
line?
line. You
Okay.
make $20 first game, then you
Right.
pocket the $20 and then you just play on the $20. And then I always just play all night. Like it's just like boom, boom, boom. Like you're betting on I always do the 6 or the 9. Those
Yeah.
always hit. It's so fun. The time if you win for other people are going nuts and it's like a party. I love it. I got Cheryl, she doesn't gamble at all. And I got her on the table last year and she was like, oh shit, I like this.
There you go.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, I should if you were a little closer, I'd swing by.
Yeah. Hey, you guys put up a Christmas tree, right?
We did.
Do you have a bunch of different ornaments, or you just have one set that you put up that's all uniform?
Oh no, we have all different ornaments. Me and her are actually merging. I think the goal is for us to just have all new ornaments in our era together. But like I brought some ornaments, she had some, and then we've been getting some every year together. And eventually, I think the tree will weed out the ones before, and it'll just be our stuff. So
okay,
I think
cool.
that's the plan.
I got a gift for you. I'll shoot a picture of it after we get off.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing. I got a lot of Giants, like World Series. And,
do you have the glass hoodie one?
No.
Okay.
Well, glass hoodie, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
What is you member Nouveau colors? Nouveau colors. I sometimes nouveau to you means something else to me, but if nouveau means nouveau, I don't know what nouveau means.
Is it cards? I'm curious now.
You remember nouveau colors?
I'm not talking about cross colors.
Right? Is that a typo or is that real? Because I don't know what that is, but I'm down. What do we got? Is this a card I need to collect? I got collector addiction. I was sitting at work today and I knew that the cards had come into the baseball card shop. And I was like, I'm just going to wait till Friday when I get paid, right? And I start looking at the weather and there's a big storm coming. And I'm like, why would I wait? I just go buy it on the credit card and then pay the credit card off Friday when I get paid. Let's get it today. Ooh, San Mateo. Anthony, you from San Mateo? You remember that place? Rollerblade place? No, I never had anything to do with rollerblades. Was it like kind of on the road that's right in front of the freeway? Like whatever. I don't know what they call it. I think it's
frontage road.
Frontage road. Yeah. Was it on there? Because I remember like a ski shop and a roller skate place and then maybe, but no, I don't know. Last thing I knew in San Mateo was, they have Atlas now, but before that was they had Deluxe San Mateo.
Go Skate.
And Go Skate's where I worked. I worked at Go Skate. It was my first job on 41st in San Mateo for a few years. Yeah. Redwood City Skate Park or the Hood Roller Rink. There used to be a roller rink on North Amplet. I remember that. That's the one I'm talking about.
I went to that roller rink one time way back. I went with a bunch of people there. I think we just got drunk in the parking lot and didn't really actually roller skate.
We did an interview at a roller rink in Santa Cruz where Jason Jesse was on roller skates with the mic and Jimmy Wilkins was on roller skates, and they did Q&A. It was pretty rad, like roller skating and asking questions and getting the answers and stuff. Yeah.
Where was that back in the 80s? There was a roller rink out in the Central Valley where they set up jump ramps and stuff in there. Chris Oliveira, all those.
Oh, that was, I think that was Turlock.
Yeah, Turlock.
Turlock, yep.
That sounds right.
South San Francisco. You know what we call that? Saucedro. That's what we used to call it. Saucedro. Peninsula later on before high school. Did you go to Aragon, San Mateo, or Burlingame High, or Hillsdale? They got a lot of high schools in that zone. 42nd, back in the day. You know this, D-Bogser. You know this with Fat Larry, Oscar Polchowski. We had Jeff the Fedge Hedges. We had Mike Alcantar. We had Chad Blakeney. Me and Chad used to meet on Tuesdays and go to Fort Miley every week before we started work. That was our routine. And Devil's Pit was around back then, so we'd go to Pacifica and skate Devil's Pit. Mills is cool. They got a few things to skate. I think the hallways at Mills, right? They're the ones that go like this a little bit, kind of like Woodside. Skated there. Cappuccino was my first pool I ever skated. Yep. I was born and raised in the peninsula, and I kind of moved city by city slowly and finally got to San Francisco.
Did you do any time in Brisbane?
No, but I like Brisbane. It's kind of like a low-key little cowboyish town up on the hill.
Weird spot. It's cold as shit in Brisbane. The Colma Cemetery fog pushes all the cold air down into Brisbane. It's gnarly. That's why Candlestick was so cold.
That's right, because they got the what's cool about, and McKinney will tell you this. So right where Brisbane is, there's the freeway that is going right there. There's a pipe that goes under the freeway to the other side, and there's a little like lagoon or whatever, right? So the bay goes into there, and then when the bay goes low tide, the fish are stuck over there because the tide goes below the pipe. So when the tide raises, you're just hitting because they're coming out. So dudes park right there on the freeway and just fish right over that little pipe, and they're just hitting all day because they're stuck and they want to get back into the bay. Yeah, the tubes, fish on. Timmy knows.
I think Lake Merritt used to work that way too until it got all mucked up. But I'll tell you a good Lake Merritt story. I lived on Grand Avenue when I was going to CCAC for about, I don't know, a year, right? Just a couple blocks up from the lake. And I used to go down there sometimes and just kind of hang out like on a Sunday, just enjoy the weather because Oakland weather is a lot better than the city. And I was sitting on a bench and some old timer came rolling up. He's like, "Hey, you mind if I sit down here?" And I was like, "No, go ahead, man." And we just started chatting. He was telling me years and years and years ago, they had to drain Lake Merritt for some reason, and they had to dredge it out. They found 42 bodies in Lake Merritt.
Whoa.
Like people would throw them in Lake Merritt and weight them down thinking that the tide would take them out through the estuary and into the bay and they'd just disappear. But they weighted them down too much, so the bodies just stayed in Lake Merritt. They also found like something like 200 guns in there. Yeah. This guy's telling me this shit. And I was like, wow, that's heavy, man.
I think that's what all the rappers talk about, like Lake Merritt. Yeah. So it has underwater cameras on YouTube? I got to look into this. That's insane. Anthony Merkovich. Represent, dude. Peninsula Pride, South Cedro. Aaron Meza, great skateboard filmer. He's from that neck of the woods.
Yeah. Well, shit, we've been on here for a while. I think probably good to go, yeah?
We're good to go, everybody. You know what we do. As the front of the what was it? What do they call them? Thumbnails. As our thumbnail, indicated, it's time.
It's time to shit on Farhan.
How dare anyone play for the Giants, coach the Giants, do anything with the Giants, and then that quickly sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers? Shame on you, Mr. Zaidi. Shame on you, sir.
Yeah, horrible human being.
Horrible human being. Guys, we're all wrapping up. I'm going to watch the Warriors game because Jimmy Buckets is, I don't know, I'm feeling this. I like this Wiggins. I loved Wiggins, but Jimmy Butler on the Warriors.
He looked good. He looked good the other night, and they've won 3 or 4 straight now, right?
They're looking good, and they're playing against Clay tonight, so it should be exciting. And Bay Area fans, All-Star Weekend in Chase Center, right down the street from my house. So I'm going to go throw eggs at Charles Barkley and make sure he understands that when you talk shit on my city, you got to pay, brother.
That fool's going to get bipped. Watch.
Oh, dude, he's been talking too much shit. It's gonna get bad, I think. Well, cool. What we got? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll do a special Alex Bregman finally signs episode or something.
Sure,
we're gonna
why
keep
not?
our eyes open, but we don't want to come on here every day if we don't have a lot to talk about. I don't like repeating things too often. It's cool, but it's just not. I think the minute that the season starts, we'll be in here talking a lot about new things and cool things and watching things develop.
Well, yeah.
So
Even next week, I mean, listen, everybody's in camp. Come Friday, everybody's there, and by next week, we're going to start hearing some things. So we'll have to keep our ear to the ground and see what kind of news is coming out of camp. Who looks good, who doesn't, who looks fit, who doesn't. We can definitely get into a little bit of that. And dude, it's right around the corner, man. The spring training games are going to fire up, and we're going to start finding out who's who and what the roster is going to maybe look like opening day.
okay, one last prediction. Do you think Bryce Eldridge comes up to the Giants this year? Does he play for the Giants this year at all?
I only see it happening two ways. One way is the Giants are getting completely blown out at the end of the year. So in September, they call him up to see if he can handle it. Or the Giants really need something at first base in September, and they bring him up for that. It's the only way
I think the only way they do it is if he has 30 home runs and he's just tearing, he can't, he's just forcing them to bring him up. I don't think they need to bring him up no matter how far ahead or far behind they are. I think it will only do him a disservice unless he's obviously just lighting everything up and it's like, I'm ready, Yeah. He's 20 years old. I'm fine with him being 21, it's going to be good. If this guy can, I like that he's working with JT Snow too, because I heard his first base defensive skills aren't good. And you got Will Clark and JT down there helping him. That could speed up his defense pretty quick, hopefully.
I'm still going to stick by my conviction on him that I think he needs to spend the entire year in AAA. I think he needs to play an entire year of first base at that level so that in 2026, he's ready to go, because that's when Wilmer and Wade are going to depart. That's going to be a big hole in the lineup. And, look how young he is. I mean, let him get comfortable. Let him face, some form of almost major league pitching, because when you play in SAC, you're going to face a lot of guys that are rehabbing major league guys. So he's going to get to see some heavy duty pitching, and he's going to have to play some good first base against some heavy duty major league hitting as well. So I say, let him stay there. He's not languishing. He's so young. Let him reach his potential first.
And with that, I think we have said enough, folks. We've said it all, and we'll say more next time we see you. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, tell a friend, get more subs coming over here, get more people to join the chat. Let's just liven it up, because baseball's in the air, and you know what Salva says.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skaters on Baseball. If you liked what you heard, please spread the word, give us a good review, or hell, blow us up on your social media if you're down. Follow us at Skates on Base on Instagram for baseball news and other fun stuff. We love comments and listener participation, so bring it with an audio clip or an email. You can email us at skatersonbase@gmail.com. We're everywhere you get your podcasts, and we'll be here all season long.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
I'm excited to give everything that I have for these next 6 seasons and, see where it takes us.
Adios, Pelota!
See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.